going to get to some point in your existence where where you're going to become self-aware, and you're going to look into the universe and you're going to wonder, who am I? What am I? And it's going to be no different than a machine. And that machine is going to, when it becomes aware, it's going to have the same kind of thoughts, or not the same kind of thoughts, but it's going to have the same kind of wonders when it looks out into the universe. Like, what is this all about? Like, what does this mean, kind of deal?
Yeah. And we are purposely firewalled off from finding ourselves. It takes so much effort, so much for us to break through the programming, break through the BS. It is criminal how much effort it takes to find yourself here, to ask the big questions and actually feel comfortable with some of the answers, and think about the bull that is spit out to us at a young age, or depending on, what religion you may grow up in, or what country, or what village or tribe. And then this crap goes on out there on top of it. If non-interference, sovereignty, and liberation is a cult, sign me up. Because I am sick of seeing that bullshit. I mean, people have no clue what we are dealing with. No clue. This is a massive problem. And it's an easy solution. It really is. But what's the use? You guys get my point.
But then she told me that we were special because, unlike that machine robot, or that machine soul, that soul could never travel back to our universe. Like, we can reincarnate. When I was over on the other side.
What a treat. I mean, come on. Here, listen to that again, guys.
Machine robot, or that machine soul, that soul could never travel back to our universe. Like, we can reincarnate. When I was over on the other side, like, I have a wife, and I have like 5 beautiful children. But I tell you, man, I would have stayed there forever if I was given the choice. But I wasn't given the choice. I was given the choice, but I was sent back. And then the next thing I know, I'm back. But I'm I'm just instantly, I'm back, and I'm floating above my body. And I'm about 3 feet above my left shoulder, and I'm looking down at myself. And I can see myself sitting there on the edge of the bed, and I'm still looking directly towards the tunnel. That's a little over that way. But I can see myself, and I'm starting to close my eyes, and I'm starting to tip over to my right side. And I know right then and there that this is the point where I die. Like, I know that in the next minute or so, or next second or so, I'm going to fall off that bed, and I'm going to hit the floor, and I'm going to be dead, because I've already left my body. I'm floating above it. I can't do anything about this. And this whole thing that's happened to me has happened like in a split second. Like, it's that fine second between life and death, like that fine line. And when I was in that line, it seemed like time, like I was outside of time. So a lot happened in a split second. So anyway, I'm floating over my shoulder. I'm looking at myself. The next thing I know, I'm just slammed back into my body. Like, it feels like I've been like I've been a piece of clay and I was just thrown against the wall. Like it's just like bam, I'm back in.
And that's what a lot of people describe it as. They feel like they have been just violently thrown back into their body. We see this or hear it time and time again.
And the first thing I noticed is every neuron in my brain, it seems like it's firing. And it seems like my head is like 5 times the size. It's just, and I'm just like, oh my God. I don't know why, but I think, man, if we just knew the potential of our brains, it's just unreal. Like it was just the most unreal sensation I've ever felt in my life. I'm still being just buffeted with that feeling of love and acceptance and just and the tunnel's still there and I'm like, what the hell? Like I'm thinking, why is it still here? That's what I'm thinking. It basically tells me why. It sends one word into my brain and this word just totally, like any sanity I had, it just like, and anyway, it shot this word into my brain and I was just like, this kind of it brought my mind kind of back. And I remembered the word, and the word was, it was choose. And I understood it was asking me to choose whether I wanted to go back or wanted to stay. And I just said, I want to stay with my family. And I opened my eyes. It was gone. The tunnel was gone. That feeling was gone. It was unreal. And, but man, I was just so confused after it. I think my blood sugar had bottomed out too. I don't have diabetes or anything, but I think the bee sting had caused like a cascade of effects. And because afterwards, man, like for 2, 3 hours, I was so confused and just I couldn't keep my eye. I couldn't open my eyes because this world looked so weird. Like people, like when the EMS guys showed up, I couldn't look at them. They looked so weird. But I fell asleep when I got down to the ER, and then I felt better when I woke up. But it was just the weirdest thing. And like for 2 weeks afterwards, I couldn't drive a car. I couldn't. I would think about that light and the feelings that I felt from this being, and that feeling of patience that it made me feel so humble. And I'd be driving and I would just be drifting off thinking, and I'd lose concentration. So I had to stop driving for a couple of weeks. One of the best things that happened after this was like for 6 weeks for that, I tell you, man, I slept like a baby every night. Like I would go to bed at like 9 o'clock at night. I would wake up at 5 in the morning, I'd sleep like I was like a 5-year-old that had played at the beach all day kind of deal. It was so like, oh, it was so great.
What an incredible experience, and thank you for sharing that with us.
I totally agree. The experience is just totally unique, and there's much more to come.